Hello, welcome all to the 27th part on the series of self-exploration. Joining the dots, contemplating, comprehending and sharing it with you all raw. All that sounds great is the grace of all those who have blessed me, and all that sounds not so great is my limitation. So let's get going. Spotting the coherence. Excellence in any stream is like going to the roots of it. If we consider this whole expression of the universe with its so-called diversities, all these expressions, they come from the same source of the infinite. So going to the roots is like going towards that infinite. That experience of the infinite is going to be the same irrespective of the stream you follow. Whichever branch you perch on, you are in touch with the same root. So in our course of life, we happen to take different paths, different streams, but in the search of absolute, that absolute is the same, and that is the coherence. Like the popular story of the elephant and the four blindfolded people. Each one of them is feeling that part of the element that is facing that person. The quest is same for each one of them. That is to know more about the elephant. In the same way, we, in our own ways, are trying to find out what is that absolute through the branch of the universe that has come in our reach, that has come in our contact. Initially, the four blindfolded people debated that the elephant is just how they were perceiving it. The one touching the leg called it like a pillar, and the one touching the back called it like a plateau, and the one touching the tail called it like a rope. Nobody was wrong, but nobody was right also, because they were all incomplete. But if the blind strips are removed, like that of the blindfolded people, we also are trying to describe in our angle, which is not wrong, but it is not complete. It is not complete, and that is why we cannot call it right or ultimate also. But if we start moving around the whole elephant, we expand our spheres, we start taking an overview, we start delving into the roots of it and remove our blind strips, what all of us will realize and agree will be towards the same. Each one of us may put it in different words, but it will and it should mean the same if each one of us has completely seen the elephant. And each one of us is writing the undistorted truth as perceived. It has to be the same. The truth of two seekers cannot be different. It cannot be different. Paths may be different, but the ultimate truth is the same. That is coherence. And it is all about spotting that coherence. The different streams of thoughts are like the different parts of the elephant. They came into being out of the thinking ability of man. But it was the effort of the man to understand how the elephant is in his own angle. A few such efforts to quote. The first that comes to my mind is the study of astronomy. Everyone were seeing the sun, the moon, the stars. But it took some people's special attention, and they started looking at the sun, moon and stars in an analytical way. They started taking a deep understanding of the planetary positions, the planetary aspects. They did a lot of mathematical calculations about the positions of the planets, the angles they are making with each other. And then they found a striking similarity in a particular planetary aspect and repetitive occurrences in human life, in the behavior or the nature of a particular person, the response system of a particular person. Then some typical incidences in their lives were repeated co-occurrences of a typical planetary aspect. And they did a systematic study of these coincidences and started relating it to the different planetary aspects. And in this process, some yardsticks got evolved, linking both, that when such planetary aspects are seen, these are the things that are repeatedly occurring, and therefore the possibility of a similar manifestation when those aspects are seen. That possibility is astrology. It is logic based on astral positions. Astrology and astronomy are thus connected. And astrology is a tool that got developed in understanding the elephant with the help of astronomy. Now, how this tool was meant to be used? To take a fair judgment of the specifications of our machine, the body, of our internal mechanism, the mind, our thought processes. Sometimes even we are unaware of our most internal reflections. Taking the help of the planetary aspects in confirming our strengths and weaknesses, to know the bad road patches of our journey and accordingly decide our roadmap of life, so that we make the best use of this machinery given to us. And with that best use, we understand more about the elephant, the absolute. That should be the goal of astrological awareness. But unfortunately, we brought it down to petty materialistic ends of knowing smallest things in our lives, of pulling more and more materialistic gains and developing a very blind faith and taking the divinity of astronomy and astrology to petty ends. Another such subject, the study of mind, psychology. Psychology is another attempt to know this elephant, the absolute, through the study of human mind. Human mind is a universal force, and human mind connects to the universal mind, which is a very small fraction of that universal mind. Knowing the composition of our machine called mind, how to link the fraction of the universal mind that occupies this machine to the whole mind and feel the abundance, so that we experience the oneness with the universal mind and understand more about the elephant. The absolute should be the goal of exploring this magnificent and tremendous power of mind. Bringing it down and achieving material ends like curing diseases, obtaining wealth, is the abuse of this powerful tool of psychology. And unfortunately, we are doing just the same. And we are taking a lot of pleasures in declaring how we overcame our diseases and how we obtained wealth and all that using our power of mind, which is just a very, very negligible fraction of that whole power of mind. Then philosophical studies or diving into the occult, diving into the depths of the impregnable facts of the universe, getting fascinated by that, is another attempt of knowing the elephant. Spirituality or rituality developed with the purpose of developing some tools to help us go towards the elephant. With the slightest glimpse of the magnanimity of the universe, any seeker will deeply feel the humility of the system we call our body and mind, something that we boast on. When we just look at our place in this whole universe, we feel completely undermined. And then merging into that whole and experiencing the wholeness and understand more about the elephant, the absolute, should be the goal of delving into philosophy. The rituals should be used and exercised in that spirit, bringing the rituals down or the spiritual understanding down to materialistic ends of bettering our day in day out chores is an abuse of that divine tool, that divine understanding, the capacity of understanding that divine that stays in human body, human mind, is never explored. Astrologers, psychologists, philosophers, experts in any stream for that matter, experience the glimpses of this elephant from their own angle as a result of their deep penetration. Eventually, they remove their blindfolds and start seeing this elephant from all the angles. They reach the root of the absolute and start talking about the things which are more about the whole elephant and not just the part they viewed in the beginning of the process. And therefore, all such people who are truly into their own areas of life and trying to touch the absolute get inherently disturbed when people start abusing these divine tools which are designed for the higher purpose of knowing the elephant. The society either uses these tools for their petty requirements, and the other section of society bars these tools, dismisses these tools, criticizes these tools as being fake. Both the things are thoroughly disturbing for the ones who understand the absolute ends of these pathways. They feel it is like using a gun to kill a mosquito and then clapping over the victory that, oh, we killed a mosquito. But what are you using to kill a mosquito? A gun. It is an abuse, an insult of the strength of a gun. And the one who knows the real power of the gun will get deeply hurt by such an abuse of it. All roads lead to Rome. Those who reach the purest level of any stream are ought to have the same surge of emotions. All such thoughts and so many more all go to the same port. It finally leads to surrender beyond the stream. Whichever path you follow, the true seeker will always surrender and lay down his tools. Lay down his tools. It is like using a ladder to reach the pinnacle on the top. And once you've reached there is no question of coming back. And therefore, there is no question of climbing down the ladder. And so, the ladder is no more needed. The absolute is the same. And that is why maybe many a times people who spend their lives in propagating a thought, spreading a thought, leave it at one point. Astrologers stop giving predictions when they realize that there is so much beyond the stream they followed. Educationalists stop promoting formal education, something for which they have laid their lives, because they have realized that using that ladder, the absolute is such that it does not need the tool. And when they have tasted the absolute, they deeply understand that no tool is needed for that. This is coherence, reaching the same pinnacle. Paths may be different, absolute is absolute. Thank you for joining in. We will keep meeting with many more such self-explorations. This was just a short break. A lot still remains to come. Thank you so much.